So welcome to PetrolHeads London, and as you were seeing, we've done a fitment of the Alloygators to my SQ5. I'm here with Dave from Alloygators, and I thought I'd just ask a few questions because these are things that I kind of were thinking about before I had them fitted. So I think one of the things I noticed when you were putting them on, you know, is it something that I need to do? Is there any maintenance on it to, you know, hammer them in every now and then, or should they stay put? What's, you know, how does that look?
Depending on wheel and tyre combination, depending on driving style, they should generally stay still.
My driving style, hopefully not, but anyway.
So if you ever do need to have them reseated, a lot of our fitters offer a free knock-in service because they appreciate sometimes they might move, but we rely on the tyre pressure to help keep us in place. So always
maintain my tyre pressures, basically sounds like the thing.
Exactly.
Don't go too fast around corners, which obviously I never do. No. So in terms of, I suppose some people's concerns about these as well as, you know, could they come off and end up damaging bodywork and stuff like that? And I know there's lots of R&D and design gone into these. So just as a slight side note, these are Alloygator, a British company, designed and made in the UK. So, you know, they've put a lot of effort into kind of like making sure they're right for your car, otherwise obviously I wouldn't be putting them on mine. But yeah, you know, what's the kind of, obviously they don't come off, but you know, how do you allay people's concerns around that? So,
if they've been fitted correctly, they shouldn't come off if they've been fitted to a suitable wheel and tyre combination. Yep. That's why we have the suitability gauge to check that first, to make sure there's going to be enough pressure between the secondary bead and the rim to help keep our product in place. Tyre pressures, again, are a big thing. And then also just making sure that if you do impact the wheel, that you get them inspected again by the people who fitted them, just to make sure there's no problems with them.
Yeah, and it's worth saying, you know, one of the things we were discussing beforehand is actually these are about stopping your wheel, you know, grazing against the curb. I'm pushing the wrong side, you can't see it, grazing against the curb, not about like driving in at high speed and protecting it. You know, they're not a miracle worker, but you know, I've actually seen how they've actually worked on my other car and, you know, protected that rim from being grazed. Point of view, it's cheaper than repairing a few wheels. I mean, ideally you'd park better so you wouldn't do it in the first place, but you know, that doesn't always happen. And being in London, you know, constantly reverse parking and parking against curves. And actually, you know, I think one of my things was I was worried about the look because you don't get the face of the diamond cut wheel, but actually once they're really seated in, I mean, these are, I can't even get anything under here. They're really, they don't look, you know, half bad, and they kind of almost look like an extension of the rubber protector that kind of protrudes, but obviously a bit further than that. And actually, so I suppose if you've looked at the fitment video and why I had them put in, that you'll see that, you know, it looks like quite an aggressive process going around. And I kind of know the answer to this question anyway, but for the nature of you guys watching is, you know, does that cause any damage to it? I mean, obviously there's little metal clips that go around the back that we looked at in the fitment video as well. You know, what is that? Does it do any damage to the wheel, or can it?
Sometimes it's plausible that it may do some damage to the rear of the rim with the metal clips in place, simply because once you inflate the wheel, a metal is being pressed into the back of the alloy.
It's just where it's gripping it.
So
yeah.
Exactly.
So it doesn't come off and rake your wheels.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So and even if that was to happen, with the fact it's at the back of the wheel, you're not going to see it anyway.
I mean, from my point of view, yeah, it's round the back of the wheel, you can't see it, and the whole point of this is protect this face, and if I ever decide to take them off, I can do. And if I decide to remove them, how easy is it to do that? Is that quite
just
an
as
easy
easy
process?
as it is to put it on?
And do I need somebody to come and do that for me, or is it something that we can do ourselves as a user of Alloygator?
It's probably more straightforward to have it removed by the people who fitted it.
Right. It's letting the air out. So one of the things that was explained to me earlier is you have two beads on your tyre, primary and secondary bead, and actually the primary bead should be the one keeping all the air in. But Dave had a little something to tell us about how this goes in and whether it should show any air leak.
Any inflation issues. If you've got any primary bead issues at all, because that's where the wheel should be sealed, basically they will be highlighted by bubbling and destroying. It will highlight an inflation issue, but it won't cause one.
Okay.
All we're going to do is show you that you've already got one there, so that could
So
be
by putting these in isn't going to release any air, and it's not going to make it any less airtight, so there should be no concerns around safety around that at all. Links below in the description, so you can go directly to Alloygator or find one of their fitters, and also a link here to the garage in West London who have, you know, who also fit Alloygators and been using their facilities here today. Thanks very much for watching PetrolHeads London, and remember to like and subscribe. Cheers.